Так, ну что, время 2. До встречи еще 2 часа где-то, если не ошибаюсь. Да? Где-то... ладно, 2 часа. Мне сейчас надо... Мне ничего лишнего не надето. Но вообще, я мог, наверное, снять эту. Кажется, снять эту. Так, я уже могу спокойно снять труп. Так что давайте начнем с этого. Потому что он висит уже... Блять. Он висит уже... Так, погодь. Я тебя не помню. Тебя что не было вроде, не?
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is.
Ну, давай 2 часа.
An hour would have been bad. 2 hours is mystical. You have truly wiped out all trace of yourself if you haven't thought about rum and
Давай
maybe
позже, блин.
later. What is this? Casual Friday? What's with the lackadaisical
Ну,
laxan attitude?
вообще-то спирт, конечно.
Used to be passionate about
По идее,
your
мне не сильно будет плохо.
Show me you're still young. Show me you have the What
Нет.
happened, man? You used to be cool. Get your drink on and your act together.
Отлично. У меня появилось задание найти спиртное и выпить. О, господи. Не, этот чувак, он просто... Ты все еще здесь спишь. Ладно. Надеюсь, Кону оттуда уже съебался. О, дождь начался. Не, Кону все еще здесь. Ладно, давайте пробуем его снять все-таки.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated.
Давай
to that.
снимаем.
As you breathe in, the odor comes over you. It's a spell of the mind telling you to run. It's a puzzle. What's hanging in front of you
Пазл.
is a puzzle of decaying flesh,
Э.
tattoos, and the man before you is naked, but for a pair of underpants and enamel boots. His skin is greenish, marbled with decaying veins, and blotched by lividity. A fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength.
Так, давайте посмотрим ботинки, потому что у меня вот есть зацепки в виде ботинок, я еще нашел свои записи. Давайте посмотрим. Ну тут стандартные целая куча всяких разных. Я больше ищу легкий 41-го, тяжелый 46-го, либо справа протертый 44-го. Если это одно из них, это означает, что он дошел до дерева, его повесили уже на месте, его не тащили.
The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in stark contrast to
Керамический.
the decaying flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates, delicate and fragile. They feel alien to the world around you. These are clearly not boots. They're armor, possibly part of a larger set.
Броня. Окей, вот тут уже интересно. Кстати говоря, в таком случае было бы логично, если бы один из людей имел вес 200 килограмм, потому что, возможно, эта броня весит достаточно много, даже если это ботинки. А может быть, если он был вообще в целиковой броне, то это вообще другое дело. Так что давайте я запишу на трупе. На трупе броня.
Indeed. Technically speaking, these are sabatons.
Сабатоны.
Oh, the lieutenant uses a memo technique A6. That's not just any notebook. It's a classic. It's clearly some manner of super armor or future
Супер
armor.
броня.
Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide.
Керамический.
This is where the make would be. Under the hill.
Под каблуком.
Fairweather model T500.
Fairweather. Ну я вот не знаю, записывать это или нет. Ну, пускай будет Fairweather T500 V. Да, дорогой.
We've requested similar material for our tactical units for years now.
Слишком затратно даже для ментов.
Costly. In that for a full set, about 4 years.
For
Ё-моё.
the northwest region of Revachol, an officer's average yearly income
То есть это
is
где-то
1,500
22
reals.
тысячи получается, блядь, для полной брони. Реал. Полная броня, пиздец. А-а.
As a wage, it's regrettably small. But for a piece of hardware, yes, that's a lot.
Ну да.
That's for us to find out. Mr. Gart implied he was security personnel for
Mhm.
the harbor company. This confirms my own assumptions. I agree. This equipment is way beyond
Ну
what
да,
ours can
типа...
A small bell-like sound fills the air, like tapping on.
It's anything but. This material is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads kinetic energy horizontally.
Faint organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones, like whirls of floorboards. The design looks organic, influenced by highly resistant wood materials.
Huh.
If trees were made of porcelain, this is what they call the smooth, glossy surface fractures into ever more intricate. The whirls are in the shape of a letter and number combination.
Мгм.
50, 100, 1000.
Код какой-то. Это ну вот, ну серийный номер. 1000.
Good. Can you read it to me?
X5415.
Да ты упоролся, зачем?
We have a make and a number. That's something. We can use the radio in my kinema when we're done.
Слушай,
Just
давай,
don't
может,
chase it
давай,
right.
может, не будем звонить, а? Как-нибудь, по-другому как-нибудь.
The locals probably scavenged it. It would be odd if he had more. We
Ну
should
да.
keep a lookout for these pieces. The armor could yield information. Maybe
The sabatons dangle off the man's decaying form, ageless
Mm.
and synthetic. The stench fills your nostrils as you push downward.
Ooh.
Stop! Pig's gonna pull his head off.
Brutal! What's wrong with you, asshole? Why is he letting go?
I don't know, baby. I don't know.
Officer, if I may ask, what were you trying to achieve by putting on the deceased foot?
Я думал, что можно снять ботинок и осмотреть стопу, но вообще, если он висит тут 7 дней, то да, ладно.
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos and extremities blotched pink and blue. The hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight.
Да, ну вот этот желтый как раз промышленный такой
Hard-edged polyester
ремень.
cuts into his neck. This is a steel-reinforced
Да-да.
cargo lashing belt, big brother of the regular cargo belt. It's used for time.
Airlifting. I thought it was used on lorries for strapping cargo to them.
Потом говорит мой мозг. Желтый полиэстер. Армированный сталью ремень для швартовки груза. Старший брат обычного грузового ремня. Таким привез груза. Угу.
The local harbor uses 6 rotors to shuffle containers around. I get the sense they use whatever was on hand without paying much attention to not incriminating themselves. I
Да.
was afraid it would be. Thin steel wiring, parallel strands. This makes getting him down more problematic than I had assumed. The brief suggested as much. Politically motivated by the ongoing strike. Did you not get a briefing? Then you should ask me the first moment we get.
Отлично.
A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around.
Hmm.
That ladder can't carry a grown man.
Ну да.
I didn't see any splintering either, did you? I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on.
Could be. The shape of the branch supports the theory.
Hmm.
The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt. Limb an intricate web of blue
Ну,
light
посмотрим
stretches
татуировки.
across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small
A map of the stars. I do see some similarity to astronomical charts. Great century
as if someone left out most of the night sky. filtering it through personal choice.
So am I.
He wears a wide leather belt around. He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed.
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck is that?
An instant color camera. I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the...
In case we need it. Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
Да.
There is only one ampoule left. Use it.
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story he wanted his body to tell was important to him. It is his letter to us. Someone should decipher it. Here,
Ну да.
a souvenir. Don't lose it.
The glassy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
Окей.
His eyes are milky white and blind to the world. Protruding comically, dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to
Темно-русые
explode
волосы.
from the organic processes inside. The head grin has passed. What remains is an
Спросите у
unrecognizable
мертвеца. Ну, не типа можно, конечно, но 28%. И можно будет выбрать снова.
face. The corpse is dead
Who is he? He
Oh.
is male, 40 to 50, with an athletic build.
The corpse looks right through you as you distance yourself from its stench. Eyes like a shark.
Are you sure we finished the preliminary examination of the cadaver? We might miss some of these things once he's done.
The cadaver
Ладно, давай
slowly
посмотрим.
twists. As you narrow your eyes, the monster. This is a trick. You've done it before. Pink is where the blood settled in the first hours post-mortem. You can use it to see if the corpse. Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of
За синими.
his fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of
I see it. His neck too. The lividity goes right up his chin.
the monster comes back into focus. An explosion of color, coursing with dark.
So, what do you think? Agreed, especially on the neck. The belt acted like a tourniquet, keeping the blood in his head. The hypostasis supports a hanging.
Ну вот, кстати говоря, могли ли его задушить до того, как его повесили? Потому что он, ну типа, по ботинкам не то чтобы скажешь, что нам известно, но, скорее всего, его реально тогда притащили на плечах кого-то. У нас тут сколько этих подозреваемых, да, получается, 8 человек, и один из них тащил его. И вопрос в том, что могли ли они, эта группа людей, могла ли она его задушить до того, как они его привели и повесили сюда. Вот, наверное, лучше
There's
спросить.
always a chance. We should check for ligament marks on his neck to see if they're in tune
Ну
with the
да.
belt. We'll have to get him down first.
But there is no breath to catch. Only the cadaver filling the air and
The steel reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach.
he doesn't actually think the challenge is unique.
The cadaver is a good 1.2 meters up. Neither one of us can reach the belt without assistance. And even if we do, there's the question of cutting the airship strength material.
Ну,
Climb
отпилить.
there and so there has to be a less risky way, with less falling down after.
В порту,
I was
может быть.
really hoping we wouldn't. The Union appeared to be
I would really prefer if there was another way. These people might have an agenda. But what other options? The corpse twists on the belt.
someone else?
Просто кого?
You
Ну,
mean like the police? Sadly, yes. The whole RCM is out there right now. doing the exact same. I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't come to help us. And we
Да.
have a growing sanitary
Ну,
concern.
это да, он уже
We
тут
need to get it
недельку.
down fast.
Стрелять более рискованно, можно повредить голову, и тогда нам будет сложнее странгуляционную борозду смотреть. Ну, давай в порт
We do
все-таки.
have the tools and the men. And since it looks like they put him there, okay, let's do it in the lousy, dangerous way.
Так, ну, окей, труп мы не сняли, но, по крайней мере, узнали больше информации. Заодно получили навык, и мне теперь к черепомеру. Да. Давайте посмотрим, что мне пригодилось. Физиология, моторика. О, блин, сложно. Интеллект. Давай, вот, кстати, давайте визуальный анализ. Меня потому что... Или не надо визуальный анализ. Не, он типа высокий, в принципе, если подумать. Я благодаря ему смог понять, что там было 8 человек. Может, что-то еще? Интуиция, чутье. Сны наяву. Чувствуйте других. Эмпатия. Подавляйте, властвуйте. Полицейская волна. Внушение. Еще физиология и моторика. Давай скорость реакции прокачаем. Да. Типа, я буду быстрее реагировать. Вот так. На всякий случай, типа, да. Давайте посмотрим на взаимодействие. Это у нас как раз фотография татуировок.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso. It still kind of looks like a map of the stars in the night sky. But something's gone. For you to discover. Someone who knows about history could tell you.
Кто-то, кто знает об истории. Может, библиотекаршу спросить? Она разве сильно много знает об истории? Черепомера спросить? Ну нет, по-моему... Ну нет, он как бы знает об истории. Он ее просто трактует по упоротому. Так ведь? Ой, ладно. Что там? Серийный номер, выбитый на броне жертвы. Где остальные части брони? Рассказать о деле. Спрашивайте о том, кто может занять татуировки. И... Здесь способ попасть в порт, просить Эрвара Клэра. Я что-то не помню Эрвара Клэра. Кто такой Эрвар Клэр? Закройте что в среду. Посмотрим, поговорим о деле с Кимом.
What do you want to know? What's there to say? It's just stupidity. The cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the Industrial Harbor.
Ну да.
Yours or mine, as if we somehow own parts of the city. Typical, well, sort of. It's less a matter of who gets to police. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was quite the brouhaha at the 57th, I can tell you that. Time to settle it, they said. Cop off. But...
So he volunteered to represent the 57th.
О, скорость реакции уже пригодилась.
Out of competitiveness. On the contrary. Somewhere in your mind hangs a dark green blackboard. There are two columns. One says, cases solved. The other, confirmed kills. It's all part of the master plan, you see.
Really?
Вот, да.
It can't be that.
Дуркин. Я просто алкаш. Они
Are you
послали
sure?
алкаша.
Who could say it's not true? If you really don't remember anything.
Ладно.
Yes, it's a wholly pointless matter. Forget I ever mentioned it.
Равные шансы? А давай посмотрим.
Because you're the best qualified. No, that doesn't seem right.
Неудача.
You look dumb if
Блять.
you keep the lieutenant waiting for too long.
Окей, ладно.
What do you want to know?
А,
No, it's not a particularly mysterious case. The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I
Натуральная...
just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that.
Блять, какие упоротые ответы. Ну вот.
Then you are in luck, because we are in the midst of a major strike by the dock workers union. Maybe more than that.
Is this a strike then? Or the first shots in a work?
I expect the case itself to be less challenging than navigating these community matters. This district strike, coup, revolution.
You feel something rising through you, a familiar feeling, an opinion taking form.
Ну, типа, есть два стула. Ну что ты. Национализм. Ну просто, типа, блин. Да, ну
When I
типа...
said we have to navigate community matters, I did not mean we have any say in them. I meant we should be...
From an imaginary fan.
Ну да.
Now, was there anything else you wanted to know about the case? Ah, yes. The case brief you missed. Now I remember. 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a
Так,
security guard
3 дня
who was
назад.
found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the whirling in rags. During that time, the victim had
Жертва
been stripped of
чистили
his belongings. The caller
самосуд.
did not
Ну это уже
identify him,
известно.
but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death. A security guard or worker of some sort hired by Wild Pines. They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some
Ну,
sort.
насколько мне помнится, позвонила женщина.
Age nor sex.
Разве нет? За стойкой. Хотя, возможно... Нет. Просто другая стойкая женщина. У меня нет информации об этом. Ладно.
There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too.
Ну, в КГБ.
That says, the Revachol
Шиш-
Citizens Militia.
The RCM,
Ah.
the Revachol Citizen Militia, is the police force you and him are part of. A self-organized peace corps of the occupied city of Revachol. The RCM operates.
Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's
Ну
our
да.
job
Ну,
to
ну,
find
да,
the
да,
clue.
да.
That's the case. You mean like a brief? Do you want me to brief you again? There's no reason to wing anything.
Ага.
If you 3 days ago,
Нет,
during
это
that time,
я
the
понял,
victim
ладно.
had
Все.
okay then. Was good.
Окей, ладно, хорошо. Так, давайте тогда пойдем поговорим с Куно, только я сначала вмажусь чем-то. Я не помню, чем я вмазался, но я вмазался чем-то, чтобы не сдохнуть. Так, Куно.
Fuck does Kuno care? Shitload pig.
Don't tell the pig.
This is where you quickly ask him questions. Real cop
Окей,
questions.
где остальное
Kuno
время?
doesn't give a shit about the armor.
Да ну. Тебе-то было пофиг на броню, да ну.
Kuno's fuckgimp's got one big thing wrong with him. He's a fucking mutant. Look at him. Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for any man.
Ага.
Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away.
Выбрось.
Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was Kuno kicked that shit in the sea. Rugby
Ай,
style.
бля.
That shit means nothing to Kuno. Yeah? That shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit. You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly
Сотого
troubadour shit at the
говноеда.
gates. Yeah, cocking boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or something.
Yes, you met him at the gates. The one with the boots and the jolly smile.
Ага.
Yeah, he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming.
Curious, my liege. Why did Kuno feed you this information?
Угу.
Yeah, Kuno's doing charity today. Kuno Day.
Still, seems suspicious. He may have it in for that guy. Or you may be paranoid. That is also a possibility, sire.
You're testing.
Get lost.
Да, ладно.
Kuno doesn't.
Пошел нахуй. Я не буду больше с тобой говорить, не буду рисковать. Но, да, тут как бы... Ну да. В елочек я вроде не видел ничего такого похожего на броню, так что мне кажется, что насчет того, что он выкинул в море, он говорит правду. Но вот что насчет... Так. Я пытаюсь мысленно вспомнить, где находится. Отправляйся к портовым воротам, спросить общительного мескийца. Точно. Точно. Так, что было? Землетрясение. Так, радио пока звонить не будем. Брат, ты хотел взять броню, да? Нет, подожди. Это не тот чувак. Я не туда пришел. Бля. Так, это... Да, это в антикварку. Ворот. Мескийц у ворот. Мескийц это который на лестнице сидит. Но с другой стороны, мне все равно сюда, потому что мне нужно с головомером, черепомером поговорить. Так. Да.
The little boy had a good on his promise. To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me. Pardon the choice of
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official
Офицер.
union
Ага. О, вот это уже интересно. А зачем, простите, Союзу надо знать, куда дели броню охранника? А? Официальное расследование профсоюза, да? Понятно, понятно. Расследование профсоюза.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike.
Ну,
So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere and props in his serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes. I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk union man about some armor.
а,
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part. I did some
технически.
research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get it
How does it come off?
in parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia.
Жесть.
All of it? There are junior officers out there, eager to prove themselves. I would leave some for them.
It's implied. He finds it unlikely.
And Mesqui's epic then, all across Martinez. I hope it will be a real bonanza for you.
Ну,
No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
окей, ладно. Получить целиком металлическую доблесть, это может занять некоторое время. Типа много времени, ладно. Ну, ботинки надо да, снять труп. Снять труп, закончить скрытие и снять ботинки. Окей, ладно. Так, ну чё, головомер? Да, головомер, блядь, не черепомер. Почему я его черепомером называл? Ладно.
The unpromising race pupil returns.
Сейчас. Да.
And
Нет. Блин, мне очень хочется ответить так, но мне кажется, что он меня отпинает после этого. Просто позерство. Свободные расы. Ну, Жополизов он не любит, насколько я не помню. Ну, давай я про Альгуль скажу.
fascinating. The Revacholian degenerate shows signs of racial self-reflection.
Просто сделал на 5 минут.
So it would seem, Thrall of Rule. I find myself at a crossroads. On one hand, and of course, you will not be able to free yourself from the. If the Revacholian degenerate is capable of critical thought, he may still prove a ray.
Jean, baby. Do the heroic thing.
Ну, да, я могу
That
сбросить
is
пить.
not possible. The game of Shahmat you play against the rules tricks is unwinnable. The days, the weeks, the months will wear you out.
Я бросаю
You
пить.
will not. You cannot withstand the wasteland.
It's super hard, Jean. My mom couldn't do it either.
Very well. You may
Один раз.
once. Our
Well done. Let's go.
Ага. Я все еще в процессе этого, да? Ладно. И у меня еще что там, пустошь реальности и Гийом Лемийон. Гийом Лемийон. Так, а куда мне? Вниз, получается, да? Или как? Или это... Ага. Окей. Ну, пропустит один мини-раз. Только один здесь. Ладно. Каждый рабочий член правления. Внизу логотип «Требуем демократии». Дэви название модели на задней панели. Вообще так огромная задница на подушке. Феникс летят кружки на подлокотнике. Здесь слушают радио. Радио спускает жужжание. Это что такое? Краткое описание инфраматериализма. Окей. Русский шкаф с картотекой.
on second glance, someone has
О,
forgotten.
It's
из ящиков.
unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork laying around.
Ну,
like
Ким,
this.
ты вот не знаешь, знаешь, всякое раз бывает.
The drawer opens smoothly.
О, видишь,
Inside is a well hundreds of documents containing
поставки.
two kinds of transactions and the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revish. It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and
О,
percentages.
да не, я
Try to
попробую.
focus, but the line, look how blurry all the lines on
Ача.
these papers are. How unwieldy. Hermeneutics was almost within your grasp, but now only vague letters float before your eyes. Less meaningful, but aesthetically more.
Давай оставим ее.
The drawer
Какой-то
slides
дым.
shut.
Окей, что это? Какая-то машина включена. Грустно. Тут что такое? Магний. Отлично. А вот он. Боевой дух восстанавливает магний. Все. О! Офисные очки, блядь. Сейчас надень. Рок. Так, это что такое? Краткое описание инфраматериализма.
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Friesel. From the sides of his head,
Давай
to
посмотрим.
your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. After rifling the pages with the magazine is divided into several sections. International developments,
Искусство и культура.
and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's
Блядь.
note.
Мне это не надо знать. Я знаю, что это искусство и культура на немецком
It
написано.
takes a moment, but gradually it
Блять.
dawns on you.
Да ладно.
Kunz, why they decided to title this one section in Volda is as you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays. As the main
Зачем?
feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip Top Tourney. The Tip Top Tourney is an inter-Isolari racing series, mostly known for its high speeds, ludicrous sponsorship deals, and high death toll. This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer. You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent. Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the... Where to even start? For one, there's the crass
Не, ну это,
commercialism of
блять.
its sponsorship. And
Я
then
только заметил,
there's the
сколько время.
perfectly
4 часа вечера.
essays on deadly motor crashes.
Черт. Неудачное я время подобрал, чтобы пойти в этот и начать изучать херню. По-моему, он ведь 4, да? Да, в 4 встречи профессионалов.
So, all of it, basically.
Так, ладно.
And that precisely is what's problematic about it. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're...
Ну да.
One cannot avoid the conclusion that Tip Top Tourney is simply the apotheosis of spectacular entertainment under capitalism.
I can safely say the thought had never crossed my mind, Detective. You can still like it, Detective. Just because a couple of... If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a...
You flip back to the front of the mag...
Какой шанс есть, что я просто, типа, смогу... Подожди. Да, блять. Сука, я неправильное время выбрал. Так, давайте, знаете что? Я сейчас сделаю очень жесткую тему. Сейчас. Я не уверен, что мне выбрать, потому что мне типа известно и одно, и другое. И поэтому я сейчас сделаю вот что. Ща. Так. Давайте сделаем. Так. Вот так вот сделаем. Ага. Ну так вот, значит, я могу идти дальше доки, либо пойти на встречу профсоюза. Я вот сейчас крутану, и мы узнаем, куда я все-таки пойду. И я иду на встречу профсоюза. Значит, будем разбираться потом с головомером, чтобы он меня пропустил. Да, вот так вот. Что ж. Что? Блять. Окей, ладно, я понял. Спасибо. Очень приятно. Ладно.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the sides.
Понятно. Таксофон, мне он не нужен. Это что такое?
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. The white rectangle of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Yes, it was probably you. It does bear the service cloak issued to you by your station.
As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak.
Это все-таки был мой плащ, да, блять? Гениально. Ладно, что он там делает? Полицейская волна трепет. Ну, нормально. Адекватно. Что такое? Для сбора дождевой воды. Контейнеры? Окей, ладно. Неподвижные гигантские машины. Ебать, сколько бутылок. Давай это... Подожди. Это инструмент. Ким, отойди немножко, а? Ты прям по бутылкам ходишь. Ким, я тебя прошу, ради бога. Вот ты детектив, от бога обманжевать не умеешь. Я прям херею с тебя. Так, так, все, отлично. Что у нас тут?
This is the night watch.
Будка ночного охранника.
Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breather.
If you must. But please hurry.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and there's sparse
Let's get going. The entire neighborhood can see us up here.
Окей. Так, проекторы. Тут какая-то дверь. Я вообще что-то не в курсах был. Ты где вообще? Это там. Это за забором, где труп висит. Я вроде там был. Вроде же все посмотрел. Странно. Так, здесь спуститься нельзя. Окей. В контейнерах нарисованы белые сосны. Тут что? Тут надо туда подняться. Кваслунд. Это мне ни о чем не говорит. О! А вот, кстати, ремень. Необыкновенная тишина. Вот смотри, блин, ремень. Похоже на тот, на котором вешали. Тут особо ничего. Так, это что такое? Рукоговоритель. Работы не ведутся. Ну, это понятно. Типа. Они не должны вестись. Уксусный запах топлива ржавчины пахнет как кровь. Закрыто. О, деньги. Ничьи. Трасс промышленных размеров пахнет горелым кофе. О, мужик какой-то сидит. С ним могу поговорить? Остакле.
The lyrics to this container song, the accent is so thick, it's impossible not to notice he's Ubi, from the vanishing peninsula of Ubisunt on Muindi.
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now Everard, he looks after everyone. Huh? I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you? I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know. Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister. Oh, you want Mr. Everard then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows.
Ну да, конечно, пока предыдущий председатель не исчезла. Да-да-да.
Guys like Mr. Everard and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Everard and Mr. Oh, Mr. Everard is where he always is. In his office, of course.
Окей.
Bye-bye now.
Ладно. Это типа новая хрень, которую я не прочитал. Да, похоже на то. Это электрохимия, это техника. Пускай техника будет. Кофе в промышленном термосе. Лестница из поддонов. Ебать ты жирный, конечно, блядь. Что такое? Чучело рыбы.
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looked with great effort. He straightens himself up in his chair. with a mixture of expectation and impatience, well bottled.
Ну и сразу к делу.
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat. I'm Everard Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez. I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up.
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand.
You go ahead, detective.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you're a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another. So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a
Я уже
representative
сказал.
of the revolution...
The chair you're sitting on has got
Ага.
to be the most uncomfortable chair in the world.
Понятно.
By the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners. This should take care of that nonsense. It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria man.
Wow, that's 25 real. That's good money. You need it.
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No...
With a grin, he points to the checker game. It's like you're on a game show. At least don't thank him for it.
Is there anything you'd like to say to me?
No.
Cool? I wouldn't go that far. I'm sure there are cooler things than delivering a... Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease...
Откуда ты все это знаешь? Прости.
Let me assure...
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is the world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and...
Я сделаю так, на всякий случай.
Oh God. Why didn't you think of this before? Have
Я потерял.
love. This is your...
Ну,
Are
блять.
you all right, Harry? You seem anxious. It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out...
It was loaded. There were 2 bullets in it. You always keep at least 2 barrels loaded.
Блять.
Officer, we will deal with this later.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
Да ебать! Типа у меня такой вариант... Ладно, хорошо.
God, you're sweating.
Неудача.
Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you?
Бля, не
Mr.
надо.
Dubois, you don't look so good.
Физический уровень.
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating.
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Harry!
Бля, у меня есть вариант.
Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I...
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it...
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. Police officer questions.
You might have noticed there's one hanging.
Oh my! Don't take this question...
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt. A steel-reinforced cargo. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values. But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you. Jean-Luc, my boy, I'm sending 2 police officers down. They have it... And, Jean, please take it easy with the race signs. He's had enough of that. You can find Jean-Luc down at the gates, but you already knew that. Anyway, he's going to help you.
Он мне поможет, ебать. Ну, конечно, да.
Oh, of course. your main thing here. That's why you're in Martin. I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavy. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean...
Yes, that sounds good.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines. Incredibly talented at opening doors. And I'm sure you're going to open this one with flying colors.
An excellent opportunity presents itself, sire. You could win the trust of the arch-liar, pretend to play into his hand. Then, should you wish, bend his efforts towards your own.
Ну, ладно.
Fantastic, my friend. Just let me... You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the
Mhm.
gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union.
Спецоперация.
Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free... Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door. Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him.
Ha 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 ha.
Who knows? Only one thing is certain. If you work with him, you're going to get it back.
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means.
Of course. I understand. We help you, you help us.
Ah.
Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here. You're one of us now.
М.
A real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry.
Ага. Что ж, не очень приятно, конечно. Я в результате просрал магний, просрал шнягу. Короче, да. Да. $25. Плата. Ага. Дверь в квартиру для Эвара. Снимите труп из дерева. Окей, ладно. Ситуация не особо хорошая. Работаем с людьми, которые, скорее всего, ответственны за повешение. Но в результате... Так, а что такое? Суд фьорд китов. Ну, допустим. Да, работаем с людьми, которые, возможно, ответственны, даже, скорее всего, ответственны за убийство. Но вариантов особенно нет, на самом деле. Поэтому... Например, у меня есть карта. Так, давайте попробуем, может быть, заседание профсоюза все еще есть. Сомневаюсь, конечно, но проверить-то стоит. Так.
Hello again, sweetie.
Не, ладно, это тоже ничьи деньги. Представим, что это ничьи деньги. Давай тогда дадим чек.
Yes, have you got it? You must be joking, right? You come here, trash it. This isn't a game show. I'm not going to accept it.
You can cash it in at the local frit near the harbor gates, though it might not be enough to cover it.
Like what? I was really enjoying talking about the money you owe me.
Ладно. Неприятно получилось, конечно. Что же?
The tear machine stabbed. Your bottles clunk into the...
Классно. Настоящие деньги. Давайте по очереди сначала с Янмой.
So,
Маньяной.
Harbor.
You've been in there, he means. Talked to the boss man too.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains. Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have a key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open? Oh, say no more. I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say. Oh, so the none of the above type, are you? I get it, I get it. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the wailing and rags. That's all I know.
Okay, but where did you...
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about none of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for? I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture.
He means he's not going to tell you, cause he doesn't know. But he will shoot his mouth off with you now that you're working for
Да,
everyone.
кстати.
A mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing? What a thought. Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Your dead guy was an enemy combatant. I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men.
He's not lying about not...
Understood. This has been a flim...
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search.
Окей. Ладно. Чё, головомер? Помоги снять труп.
The unpromising race pupil returned. So it was. My unpromising race pupil entered the harbor and used my superior.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
There's a but while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you.
А где гарантия, что ты ботинки не заберешь? Или следы не утрешь? Или что-то, я не знаю, что ты сделаешь с трупом?
This is the uncomfortable result of not taking it down ourselves.
Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike way. His mysterious race may get
Ладно.
through. See that they stay here the whole time.
Постоим тут. Хорошо.
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead.
So, you guys are like cops or something? Cool. I like men with guns and power.
You hear that? That sound? He's...
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like dogs!
And who are you? What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small for you?
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinet. The man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him. The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. Farewell, handsome witch. You are a Union man from now on.
Да я даже не буду спрашивать по поводу того, что у него председатель белый. Мне как-то не хочется нарываться на конфликт с самой малости. Да. Что ж, давайте посмотрим, что случилось с трупом. Надеюсь, он все еще там. Надеюсь, что он все еще с ботинками. Ага, интересно, он его снял.
You missed a good show before. I keep.
He fucked the tree up!
By the way, Kipt is a. You need to act decisively. It's Kuno. Use Kuno words.
Watch out, Kuno!
Kuno knows which Kip Kuno meant. Kuno knows all the Kips. Kuno's
Ага.
Kuno's dad doesn't give a
Except Kipt's.
Try to crawl out of Kuno's ass!
Yeah? The fuck did you want anyway? You got your fuck bag down. Kuno doesn't.
Да, ладно.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. Yes.
Давай автопсию.
Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue.
The RCM's four-phase murder scene.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up!
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano Windy is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the third. You must have me confused with the Copperpedia. You, sir, you are the Copperpedia.
Окей, ладно.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest I'll ask you when I need you to. For the most part, maybe I should handle the contact. In your paperwork, officer, just fill out the field autopsy form.
У меня есть они в реале. Можно я в реале буду записывать, ладно?
You've lost your paperwork, haven't you?
Fucking runkari!
Man up, pig. You're embarrassing, Kuno.
Officer, what haven't you lost? Yes, barely. I can give you my paperwork. There's an autopsy form there. Several, actually, but only if it helps move things along. Right. The autopsy form is near the end.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first.
That's you.
Блин, я... Ладно.
Just leave it empty, officer.
The corpse lies there, indifferent to your...
KK57. Dash. Next. NA. Next. NA. Roughly 50.
Dry 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side. The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a...
Mondial.
Fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Mwindi. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither...
Fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and...
We're still going with March 4th. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10.
KK57 0503 0...
None. At least not after the initial examination. They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dog walkers.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic.
We should start the post-mortem.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with it.
Clothes. The deceased wears armor.
Армейские ботинки, белотрусы, окей.
Make of the briefs.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself.
Ну, кстати, да, я попробую все-таки собрать керамический набор. Да.
The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters, generally consistent with age. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short. Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs.
Fucking low velocity. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity talking shit about Kuno.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the...
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below.
See, my pig is gonna...
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of it. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there. Steady now. Like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and you jam the cutters under the knot. That seems like a smart idea. Yeah, somewhere there. Already they're buried deep in them. A really, really bad smell is coming from there now. And
Yeah, fuck him. Fuck that.
Told you my pig was...
I should have a go first. I think I have a strategy.
he sinks the cutters into the knot, preparing to snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet.
Here. The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced. Chest is intact. Normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant. Pelvis intact.
No!
I fucking...
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury. Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip. In addition, I see smaller, residual scars.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades. Dispersal and accumulation.
We have a real museum here. Last item. Hands. Hands are clean. No sign of a recent struggle. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central...
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
What would that be?
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement.
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer. Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp...
Yeah, Jack, that fuck!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants. possibly after a combat wound. Hepatobiliary, NA. Same for toxicology and serology, NA. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Gastrointestinal.
This will do.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list?
Повреждения.
We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling.
Be thorough if you want maximum results.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds. And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury? So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the...
At maximum.
Has confessed to causing it at maximum...
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man.
Right. Next, a dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck.
10 сантиметров.
I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark.
То есть не сопротивлялся.
1 centimeter.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man, think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush.
Ну да, ну то есть оно является. Нет, подожди. Послушай. Нету царапин, значит, он не сопротивлялся, когда его вешали. Но как этот человек может не сопротивляться, когда его вешали? Даже если он был без сознания, он должен был проснуться, когда его повесили. Так что... Почему? Ну вот, да, то есть написано, царапина от ногтей на шее отсутствует. То есть он не сопротивлялся. Каким образом он мог не сопротивляться удушению?
Why do you say that? Okay. Why don't you think it was fatal?
Я могу... Блин. Потому что у него нет царапин на шее. Если бы у него были царапины на шее, мне кажется, что было бы логично положить, что это... Что сангуляция была причиной смерти.
Now you're just undermining yourself for the sake of it. What's strange is... I agree. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. Now we put him in a body bag and I drive him to Forborg for...
The lieutenant looks at the dead man. You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse. I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
Давай посмотрим.
The fish lips stay silent in response.
I told you, he is male, 42
Окей, ладно. Давай попробуем восприятие.
You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen...
Да, вот.
His fingernails have turned dark. They're chipped and quite long.
Длинно обломанные, под ними
Do you
грязь.
think we missed something? Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need... It would have to be industrial in size. Let's start by asking Gart at the Whirling in Rags. And the Fritz...
Fuck are you looking at, Beano man? You want a piece of the Kuno?
Only if all else fails. Hurry. This is one task we cannot sideline. With every hour, whatever we are looking for will become harder to find.
Я согласен. Но проблема-то в чем? Проблема в том, что время подошло к концу. Труп мы сняли, в доки попали, но на этом я вынужден попрощаться. Так что до следующего раза. В следующий раз мы найдем место, куда спрятать труп. Возможно, снимем с него ботинки. И выберем, что прокачать. Потому что я не уверен, что сейчас прокачивать. Так что... Да. Прийти за холодильник. Открыть квартиру. Так что... Да. Вот так вот. До следующего раза.